Crypto mining stocks have been on fire over the last couple of days, with new partnerships in the works, as well as Bitcoin's price just continuing to make new all-time highs. Really seems like it does not want to run out of gas anytime soon. Welcome back to Simple Investing, you guys. Today's video is going to be all about Mara's and DMG's partnership and my key takeaways on it, as well as later we're going to dive into the charts and see where these companies could be potentially going over the next couple of days. And now, before we get started here, I just wanted to say, if you guys are new to my channel and you guys would like to stick around for future content like this, please do consider subscribing. So Marathon Patent Group and DMG's US subsidiary called Blockseer have created a partnership which is called Dcmna. Now, this is a nonprofit entity which is focusing on North America digital currency opportunities, including decentralizing Bitcoin's hash rate, as well as providing transparency for North America's crypto miners. And the principal initiative here is creating North America's first cooperative mining pool. And now my three key takeaways on this are as follows. The first point is improving the mining profitability of the members, as they will be receiving rebates based on the hash rates that they contributed to the overall pool. There will also be quality and control run on this through independent auditing firms to make sure that everybody receives accurate rewards. The second point is having this entity on North American soil will allow for more transparency, trust, as well as accountability for the mining industry. And the last point is one step closer to legitimacy through clean block mining. So what does that mean? Basically, it reduces the risk of the mining blocks containing any kind of transactions linked to criminal or terrorist activities. And with all this in mind, I think this is decent news. Not amazing, but decent news. And I do think the market's overreacted quite a bit with DMGI, like pumping at 173% over the last 2 days. But with all that aside, this is a positive movement, and it could definitely serve as a catalyst, in the near future here, as bigger companies with bigger market caps will be joining into this pool, and it could definitely drive the prices up across the board. Now, without any further ado, let's dive on in and let's take a look at the charts. So here we have Bitcoin's chart, and as I said many times and in previous videos, everything starts and ends with Bitcoin, and that's related to crypto miners. As long as Bitcoin keeps progressing to new all-time highs, the crypto miners are going to be blossoming. They're going to be having a great time. So anyways, I have some lines drawn out here, some trend lines. So the first line I wanted to direct your guys' attention towards is this trend line here, this diagonal trend line. In the past, it's been utilized as resistance for Bitcoin, and then recently here on December 29th, it turned into support. So Bitcoin launched past that line, and I mean, it had another consolidation here, and it launched up again to new all-time highs. But I mean, it's all bright and everything at the time being, but Bitcoin is due for a consolidation or a pullback of some sort, to give it some breathing, as it's been running pretty hard over the last couple of days. So I mean, potentially, if there were to be a pullback, I'd be looking at something of the magnitude of 20 to 30%. And depending as well on where Bitcoin is going to end at the end of 2021. If Bitcoin decides to go to 50,000 American, this correction could take like a week or 2 weeks. Like it would be a longer correction. But if Bitcoin plans on going to 100 to 200,000 American, this correction could take a couple of days. So it all really depends. I mean, nobody knows at the end of the day how high Bitcoin's going to go. But I mean, it's good to keep this in mind, guys, because Bitcoin does need to have, pullbacks, consolidations. It can't just keep running on and being green day by day. So if we look at it here, so if we were looking at about 20%, then you'd be meeting that trend line here and utilizing it as support. If we're looking at 30%, so yeah, this line's at what, 29,000, something like that. And if you were looking at a 30% drop, which is something more that I would expect from Bitcoin, it's going to bring you back down to 26,300. All right, so here we have DMGI's chart. And as you guys can see, the last 2 days have been an absolute monster run. Like this has covered about, I believe, 173% gain over the last 2 days, which is absolutely nuts. And as you guys can see, it had among two of its highest volume days in the history of like all of trading for this company since 2018 when it first IPO'd. And today, actually, the volume was the highest ever at 13 million. It's been the highest volume day. So as you guys can see here, I drew out some supports and resistances here. Basically, today we tore through all of them. leaving us with the last resistance, which is at $1.98, so $2 psychological level. But yeah, anyways, DMGI kind of ran out of gas, which is good. I'm happy that it had a little bit of a pullback, because I mean, 173% in 2 days, like, you can't sustain. Like, that's nuts. So what I'd be looking for over the next couple of days is some kind of consolidation. You know, a pullback, a healthy pullback on lower volume. Like, you definitely don't want to have any, you know, falling stars, or, you know, having some crazy high red days, because that would show that there's like a panic sell-off. So over the next couple of days, I'd definitely be watching for some kind of consolidation, or even a follow through. I mean, it's hard to say, like, with the volume as high as this today. Like, I mean, this company has a lot of eyes on itself. So maybe tomorrow, you know, a fresh round of investors gonna pull a bunch of money in, you know, and it might send it higher. Who knows? But I'd be looking at something like some kind of consolidation between 151 and, like, let's say 122, like, for it to be healthy, you know, and continue on with its trend here. But I mean, it could also go lower. Like today, it dipped to 90 cents. Like, I saw a dip coming between 90 to 80 cents that it could dip that low. But I mean, that was a super quick dip. It just did a really quick touch here, and then it took right back off. So I mean, overall, it's looking really good, but you guys should understand that, I mean, it is pretty high up. Like, DMGI is trading at a pretty high level compared to 8 cents. So whoever's getting up at these levels, like, for sure understand your risk to reward. Like, it's definitely not the same as it was when this company was 8 cents or even 50 cents. So trade accordingly. So here we have Mars chart. I actually don't trade this one personally. I stick to the Canadian crypto mining stocks. But I just drew out some lines here to help you guys out. Some support and some resistances, and as well I highlight the volume's just been crazy on this stock actually over the last what is it, yeah, like 2 months. Yeah, over the last 2-3 months the volume's just been nuts on this company trading. Like, it's been spinning tens of millions per day. So yeah, so from the chart, quick observation here, there's a little gap between 721 to 766. I mean, at this point, it's a fairly low chance that this gap will ever fill, as this company is, like, getting quite a bit of hype and Bitcoin's running up. So I mean, it's going to follow through. And here they had quite a bit of a pullback. You guys can see a massive sell-off, and then the accumulation is kicking back in. So that was primarily because of the dilution, the 200 million that they raised. So anyways, the two resistances to be looking at near term are at 2072, and that was created by this candle right here. And the next one after that is at 28. And as you guys can see, it just had multiple touches here throughout the way, and it got rejected here. Just before we wrap up the charts, I wanted to revisit Fort, as I did make a video on it about a week ago, labeled as my #1 crypto miner stock pick for the year of 2021. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, definitely go check it out. It goes more over the technicals of why I decided to pick this as my #1 stock for the year of 2021, as well as why I see that they have the highest potential out of all the remaining crypto mining stocks on the Canadian market. Anyways, the chart here hasn't been doing much. I mean, it's still consolidating here. It's getting rejected off that 27 cents. I'm just thinking somebody's trying to load up on the cheap shares. And I mean, in a way, it's not bad. It's just consolidating, and it's establishing a stronger and stronger base here at 24 cents. So it's just going to allow for a better takeoff once it decides to go. And I wouldn't be surprised if the move is very swift. Like, within 1 or 2 trading sessions, this could go exponential, as it has been held down for quite a little while now. Anyways, I'm really bullish on this stock. I'm very excited for them. I don't mind waiting out. Like, I waited for DMGI for quite a while. And just to wrap this up, this is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. This is merely my vision of where these companies could be going in the near future. So please, you guys, make sure to do your own due diligence.